My boy, big time. He's got that Hennessy hookup.
Woo! Let them know.
I know all about that, my friend. I know all about that.
Hey BG Squad, welcome to another episode of the Brandon Gonez Show. I'm your host, Brandon Gonez. And listen, we're so excited that you've returned and you're back. We've had a few pretty big episodes, including our last week episode with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And yes, we heard your feedback, we heard your response. It's been overwhelmingly positive, and we love you guys. But we also have a special guest planned for you later on in the episode. But before we even get there, let's get the homework done. You know, subscribe to this channel right now if you haven't. Hit that notification bell, turn it on, and make sure to follow us on all of our social media. Okay, let's get back to it because the past couple of episodes, they've been a bit heavy. The topics have been heavy. A lot of COVID, a lot of pandemic. And I got to thinking the other day, let's do something fun. And I started to think about 2 years ago this time. Remember in this city across this country, that energy we all felt as the Raptors were on the brink of winning their first championship ever. Do you remember that? Do you miss that feeling? Are you even still watching sports right now? I wonder, what about the Olympics? They're just around the corner. Should they still be taking place in the midst of a pandemic? So many questions. So I should probably, mute and go ask the people? Yeah, it's time for your voice. For the people, by the people. Go on, let's see your best soccer kick.
Oh no, I can't do it. I need the ball, you know what I'm saying?
There's the ball.
There's the ball?
There's the ball.
Hey.
Okay. Pass it here. There you go.
Hey.
Listen, we're just asking people, you know, this pandemic has basically disallowed us from watching sports in person.
Yeah.
Do you miss it? Are you a sports fan?
Oh man, anything Toronto sports, I'm all about that life. I'd be at Hoops down the street over there if they would let
Oh
me.
yeah? We can't go to a sports game because of COVID.
That's true.
How does that feel? Relax, Gal.
Yeah, it's sad. I used to live in Winnipeg, so I used to go to like a Winnipeg Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, you know.
Yeah.
But right now, it's kind of boring. So
Our son plays football in university, and he hasn't been able to play.
Oh my god, so much.
We've never been to Raptors games.
Yeah,
we
we've
moved
never
here right
been.
before pandemic. So we haven't been to any games yet.
We haven't been to anything, which is such a shame.
Yeah,
So,
impossible.
yeah, like we heard how crazy it got here when they won the playoffs, what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
And so we're ashamed we missed that.
Honestly, there is so much happening in the world of sports, and it's pretty clear everybody has an opinion. So this week, we wanted to speak with someone who covers sports every single day. Yeah, we have a Hennessy conversation planned for you. And this week's guest, she knows sports inside and out. She's also a trailblazer, and she's someone who never stops, and more importantly, never settles. She's known for making history, but today, we want to tell her story. I'm talking about my friend, Kayla Gray. KG, to the people watching, I call Kayla Gray KG. Cheers to coming on the Brandon Gonez Show.
Cheers. We call me or the big ticket like Kevin Garnett. Go ahead.
I love it. Cheers to you for so many things. Like, I just want to jump right off the gun here and talk about history that you were a part of when you were part of the NBA's first ever all-women's broadcast team. Like, that made my heart just smile. What was that moment like for you?
I mean, first of all, you're too kind to me, but I think to give context, like, you know, you have been such a big champion for me, and I hope to be the same for you because of the extending friendship. But it was just incredible. And I don't even think I thought about like the all women broadcast. I look at like an Amy Audibert, Megan McTeague, Kate Burness, Kia Nurse as just like people who are just so good at what they do. Like I got to work with some dope people. And at the end of the day, obviously there was a lot of promotion, conversation, looking ahead to, but we rock that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that to me is what I'm most proud of.
But there's a lot of people who are getting to know you right now, and I'm so excited for them because you have such a great story to share. And I want to dive into that. Like, you know, I'm a West man's, okay, West End man's. You're at East End.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about where you grew up. Tell us a bit about your story.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up Victoria Park in Lawrence, so like it's like borderline Scarborough, but I spent way too much time in Scarborough for me not to claim it. But anyways, and lived there at some certain points in my career, or not career, but life. But yeah, I was born there, a first gen Canadian. My mom's from Jamaica. Big ups, big ups. And she was just incredible in the ways that she like modeled the example for me to kind of, you know, do whatever I wanted to do and supported me in my dreams. The one issue though is I was a bad pick-me when I was growing up.
Hold on. For people who don't know what pick-me means, break it down.
Child. Pick-me means child. And so, yeah, I definitely can say that, you know, I lost my way growing up. I struggled in school, and I think that was coupled with the fact that, you know, I was finding a place to live on my own at 15. I lived in my friend's basement for some time, and that brought upon some depression. And because I was working and also trying to figure out high school, I skipped a lot of school. And I got kicked out of 2 high schools and graduated from an adult learning center. So I say that all to say, like, it was not a traditional upbringing for me, but it was so necessary, especially when I think about where that has led me to. And it is, I mean, as you know, in this industry, you want to present as perfect, and especially as people of color. And eventually I had to get good with my story and not forgetting who I was, where I came from, and that all of those things make me built for this job that I have now. So that sort of is a little bit about my background. You know, I went to College of Sports Media for journalism school. I moved out to Winnipeg, then went to Prince Rupert, where you and I connected, and then came back to Toronto as a radio producer at TSN and just built my way up to this point. And now, hey, she got her own show.
She got her own show, and we're gonna
Brandon's footsteps, everybody.
that story that you're talking to us about, you know, your childhood and those obstacles that you face. Like, there's so many people who resonate with that. You chose sports broadcasting. Was that your outlet? Was that your way out?
Oh my gosh, sports like quite literally saved my life, and at multiple points in it gave me a family. With my grandparents, the one thing that connected us was we would watch the Blue Jays games all the time, and we just sort of sit together and watch, and my grandfather would listen to it on the radio. My grandmother would watch it on television, and just like the synergy of it and that storytelling has always appealed to me. As I was finding my way through adult learning school, I was realizing that I truly enjoyed storytelling.
And look where you are now. I mean, TSN is the biggest sports network in this country. You know, you became the first Black woman to host and anchor a national sports broadcast in this country. I'm so proud to call you my friend. And I say that with a lot of, you know, substance, because it needs to be said. Like, you wrote history. You are her story. You know, but it hasn't been an easy journey. So talk to me about some of those obstacles that you've had to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, even just starting out in the industry, I've told this story 1,000 times where, you know, my first job out was in Winnipeg. And the program director, when I had raised a couple concerns about the duties of my job, because the audacity of an employee to ask what their duties are, he said, you know, Kayla, someone that looks like you should be lucky that you even have a job. And that's...
Hold on. Let's let that sit for a second.
Somebody that looked like you should be lucky that you even have a job. Yeah. And I don't know, as a woman of color, as a person of color, when people kind of have that and say that to you, there's a fear there. Do you walk away and save your integrity, or do you stay and stick it out because this is your one shot? And I was the wild child that was like, nah, I'm out. The struggles of it too were just sort of being tainted by that first experience and kind of thinking that had gone away, but that little voice almost always coming back in, even when I reach my successes of, am I supposed to have this job? Can someone that looks like me hold a job like this? Because before I wasn't shooting to be the first Black woman on SportsCenter because I didn't think it was possible. I didn't see it, you know, but I think the biggest goal right now is to make sure that I'm not the only, and not the only at this time.
You know, the common theme every time I speak with you is like, you never stop, you never settle. I think that's the definition of somebody with perseverance and determination. And I think that is so amazing that you have those character traits. And I think that inspires a lot of young people too. Not saying that you're not young, because we still young.
We still young, honey. We fresh. The target's forever moving for me. It's trying new things. It's starting new conversations. It's figuring out, how this job of mine can give back to a community or be a vessel for other people to succeed. And, I always just feel like, why not just push it just one more level? I'm that one that's just like, why can't we could just take it up one more notch? Mm-hmm. We could go further than here. And I think when you stop limiting yourself to that ceiling and you stop even looking at that ceiling, the goals look different and they look bigger. And some people might never, ever understand them, but you do.
What's your favorite sports team?
It gotta be the Toronto Raptors.
I'm a Raps fan, born and bred.
Raptors.
Raptors?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
the
know
Raptors. Why?
Because since we're from the Six,
Yeah.
they belong to the Six. They represent the Six.
Okay.
No one.
You don't watch sports?
I don't watch none of that. We're from the Middle East. Shout out to all my Chaldean peoples.
I guess I like the Raptors.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not making
But
the
I'm
playoffs.
a bandwagon
That's
Raptor
fine
fan.
though. Listen, it's good to be part of the bandwagon. There's a lot of
Okay.
people part of the bandwagon. What's your favorite Canadian team?
We don't love actually Canadian sports. We are from India, so we have some love for the Indian sports.
What sport? What sport in India?
Mainly cricket.
Do you know Chris Gayle?
Of course.
Yeah. How much you love Chris?
Yeah.
Who's not the fan of Chris Gayle?
All right.
Everyone who loves cricket is a fan of him.
We all know he can clear the boundary.
Off he goes! He gave himself time. 3 balls he gave himself.
Obviously, I like him a lot.
Yeah, you're blushing.
Well, you got a nice guy smiling at you, you're gonna blush a little bit.
All right. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Hey, over here. Oh, I know. Can we ask you a question for our show? That's how you get them. Who's the greatest Raptor of all time, in your opinion?
Gotta be Lowry.
Kyle Lowry. Gotta go to Lowry, I think, right?
His name is Kyle Lowry. Where's he from, Jack?
So what are your thoughts on the Olympics that, they're still going to take place in Japan this year, even in the midst of a pandemic? Do you think that's the right choice?
No, I don't think so. That's the right choice because people are suffering. We are from India, so it's a critical situation there in India. So
I think they need to postpone it. I mean, unless they get this thing in check by July, August, what is it? Whatever it is. We can't have more of a super spreader and have this whole thing roll over and over again.
I mean, obviously, if they do follow certain guidelines and stuff, it's a good thing because it's a good distraction. It's about time sports really came back. I mean, there are tennis is going on, Formula One, football, everything is going on, but without any spectators.
Okay, can we get into the business now? Can we get into the business and talk some sports?
Okay, what do we want to talk about, Brandon?
Okay. Let's get a bit more about Kayla as a sports journalist and her sports interest. Yeah, I'm gonna call you out, okay? I'm gonna do some digging, okay? So, if you had to choose between tennis, baseball, soccer, hockey, or basketball, which sport would you choose?
Basketball, for sure.
Okay, who's your favorite sports person that you've interviewed?
Allen Iverson.
Ooh, why?
I wasn't supposed to interview Allen Iverson because
I had no idea you were gonna say Allen Iverson, actually.
So this was when All-Star Weekend came to Toronto. I was there, but I was also there, I think as a radio producer. And then I just happened to sneak in a camera with me. It was
not a sneak in.
I was trying to sneak. Listen, when the NBA All-Star Weekend comes to your city and you try to make it to this industry, you go. You find a way to go. And I found a way to go with a couple of help from some friends. But, I just was like, hey, can I just ask you a couple questions? And also to me, Allen Iverson is one of my favorite players growing up. And he's the reason why I fell in love with basketball just because of who he is.
Wow.
And he gave me that time and he was super nice.
Do you miss the Raptors playing at Scotiabank Arena?
Oh my gosh, it's the saddest thing to every game. I'm like, man, I just miss it. And I miss the fans because truly I believe that Toronto fans are the best in the world. Just the enthusiasm, the vibe. When you walk into Scotiabank Arena, there's energy. There's a little pep in your step. This is why I try to look good because people come out there and they show out. Okay, people come to the games, they come out in heels, they look great.
But you show out too.
Oh, I come with my looks. But also outside of the game and the products, because I was fortunate to be around a team that, was successful. Just the vibe, the staff, that to me is what I miss the most.
Who is the greatest Raptor of all time?
Kyle Lowry. Period.
Oh. Period. Point blank.
Point blank. Period. Period. Point blank. Just like the contributions to our franchise. Not even just on the court, but you think of Kyle Lowry as a person and the ways in which he has contributed to our communities. I don't know why, but that's a big one for me. It's hands down. And also too, the pedigree and the numbers that he put up in Toronto. To me, it's like not even close who's the greatest Raptor of all time.
Can we talk Olympics for a hot second here?
Shall we?
We shall. So let's get into it because they're still going to take place in Japan. There's an outbreak happening in Japan. Do you think the Olympics should even still be going on this year?
Listen. Some athletes that I have talked to need it to happen. They want it to happen, right?
Why? Why do they need it to happen?
To me, I feel for those that this is their livelihood and their life. And to push it back even further can mean a lot, and not in the nice way. Olympics has been a hot mess in the headlines as well, Brandon, as you know, with them saying they're going to ban athletes from wearing Black Lives Matter shirts and messaging for opening ceremony. Like, just stop.
So what was your thoughts on all that? Because I was like, whoa.
When you talk about the IOC, like, who's in that conversation being like, we don't believe that Black Lives Matter, so you should not wear it. Like,
who said that?
No, but who would have to say that, right?
Who said that?
Listen, I always just give it to you straight.
Do you have a favorite sports team in the city or in this country?
The Argos.
The Argos?
Definitely the Argos.
We don't actually hear much about the Argos.
No, we don't. And it's so unfair because they're like the oldest professional sports team in North America.
Yeah.
Like they've been around for longer than any football team in the States. And because Toronto has all the other teams, their support here amongst Torontonians is not very big. But whereas like Hamilton and the other places that's all they have is a CFL team. So they get much more of a fan base than the Argos get.
So if you could say something to Torontonians about the Argos, what would you say to them right now? If you could talk to them, right? That's the camera.
That's the camera.
Yeah.
Go see
Go
a
to
game.
the games when they come out.
Go to the games. Support them. We don't want to lose them.
You got the wrong guy, Brendan.
No? Do you have any favorite sports team in this country?
Being in Toronto, I'd be at risk to say the Hamilton Ticats.
That's fine.
Yeah, Oski Wee Wee.
We're wondering, like, when are they ever going to reopen things so people can go back and see them? Because the CFL was almost at risk of, like, shutting down.
Yeah, it was on the verge of bankruptcy a couple years back even. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes back from this.
All right, well, let's switch gears here because I want to talk about the big prize possession. And that is the... Come on, it's the shift with Kayla Gray.
There's so much more to sports than just the game.
I know I'm a basketball player, but no, I don't travel with basketball everywhere I go.
Yes.
Hey,
oh
like,
my
this
gosh.
is massive. No, can we say how massive this is? Like, this is massive.
Yeah.
Massifical. This is massifical.
Oh my gosh, that's a long word to be almost choking on over there. My gosh.
Okay, no, seriously, but Kayla, describe to us, like, what can we expect from this show? You know, it's out now, so what can we expect?
I mean, look who talks. The Brandon Gonez show right here, talk about first and setting that. So let's give you your flowers for just the courage to even, making this happen and being so influential and important to our culture.
Okay, let's just cheers, by the way, to the shift with Kayla Gray, because that's what we need to do.
Thank you.
Clink,
Thank
clink,
you.
clink.
Click, click. Yes, yes. Don't worry, I'll be drinking.
But
I just got lip gloss on right now, so
No, your lip gloss is popping.
I mean, but I love myself some Hennessy. Fun facts about Kayla Gray.
Listen, we can go into a lot of fun facts about
Okay,
Kayla Gray.
all right. Well,
But I want to know more. I want to know more. Like, what can people expect, from the content? Who are you wanting to reach and talk to, and the conversations that you want to have?
Talking to everybody. I think that this show just is going to represent the shifting conversation around sport as we know it in Canada. These are conversations that we always have and we've already had in pre-pandemic barbershops, salons, in my group chats, at bars, what have you, where it is just this nice fusion of sports, but also culture, but also what Russell Westbrook's wearing and all the things, right? And now there's finally a platform for that, to host that. And then also too, what we're going to have is that opportunity to take the biggest headlines that we do see, but add some nuance to it and add some fresh perspective and break it down in a fun, interesting, fast-paced way. And also have some great interviews along the way as well.
I love to hear that. KG, in our Your Voice segment, we asked people if they could name their favorite NBA player. They could. We asked them to name a WNBA player. People were silent. So LeBron's your favorite NBA player?
Yeah, definitely.
Who's your favorite WNBA player?
Actually, I don't know. I don't follow WNBA that much.
Can we expect to see a lot of coverage, for
all the coverage.
Women's? Okay, good. Yeah.
All the coverage. And that's not just because it is the right thing to do, because guess what? Women's sports right now has the biggest potential. And when they say invest, share, show, broadcast, what do? You go with what has the biggest potential. And I don't want to even boil it down to just that. The product is dope.
People need to make sure that they're following the shift on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, right?
Yes, the shift_sports on all of those platforms. And we're going to have content coming your way every single day.
KG, what's one thing people don't know about you that you want them to know about you?
Nothing. Mind your business. No, I'm kidding.
Mind your business. You know what I'd say, Vinci song? Mind your business. Funky business. It's called funky business.
Right. I don't know. What is one thing about me?
Remember, you're talking to me, so I know everything. But so pretend you're not talking
everything.
To me.
You know all the tea. So, but not that tea we gonna share. I don't know that I do have some jokes in me. I think that I've been, people take me very seriously over the last little while because of the subject matter that I talk about, but I live for broadcasting and sharing my joys. And that also is what the shift is going to do, is make sure that we are sharing the joy and the contribution of our people and the culture. I think that's a new fact that I'm hey guys, I'm funny. Hey guys, I'm nice. Hey guys, I care about things like sneakers and that's cool. Also, I don't know if people would know this, but I don't really share too much about the family side, but I am a mother of a 3-year-old. And that is my favorite job of all time, is raising my little guy.
Kayla Gray, my friend, trailblazer, TSN anchor, host of The Shift with Kayla Gray, EP, by the way. It's a good day. It's a good day for Miss Kayla Gray. Thanks so much for joining me on the Brandon Gonez Show.
Thank you for having me. Finally, let me on the show, y'all.
I was saving it for this special moment.
Cheers to that.
All right, I'm gonna call you after, okay?
Okay.
That was pretty cool, eh? Listen, I love Hennessy Conversations. What do you guys think about that conversation, by the way? Drop your thoughts right now in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel at the same time. But you want to know why I love Hennessy Conversations? Is because we get to speak with influential people who are trailblazing. And it's really extra special, especially when those people are close friends. Listen, we love you guys for watching. So I want to remind you, if you have any news stories you want us to look out for, email us, news@brandongonezshow.com. And don't forget about our new show, News You Can Use, which is the new 6 o'clock news, and it drops every Tuesday and Friday. So don't miss out for that. We say this every single week, BG Squad. We love you for watching. We'll see you same place, same time next week.